This episode is brought to you by Tabletop Dominion, purveyors of handmade dice and artisan gaming accessories. Why not head over to tabletopdominion.com and use the code BILLOW to enjoy 10% off your order? Who knows, maybe you will find your very own blue dice of power.
Below and Hillpod to the Hellowing Welltop Cumcast. I've got no news or information for you this week, just a reminder to rate and review, and you can reach out to us on social media at Billowing Hillto on Twix or at Billowing Hilltop on everything else. Or if you're old, you can find us on Facebook, and if you're older, you can email us at hello@billowinghilltop.com. Let us push on with episode 165 of the Hellowing Welltop Cumcast. We like to parley.
And we're live.
Good evening, everybody.
Speak for yourself, Grant.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Long time no gather.
Well, it's only been a week, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
spoil the illusion.
It
just seems like longer.
I think people have seen through it by now. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like Father Christmas. You don't want to admit it, even though the obviousness of
personal life,
the illusion is staring you in the face.
Anyway, whatever.
Sorry, spoilers there for all our readers.
We haven't played for a month, readers. That's a weird thought. Because we've all been away and doing our own things, and now it is the heating's on.
Live
here, by the way.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten where we were. You've forgotten where we were.
We're in the middle of a fight. It's just ideal.
Yeah.
But are you? Are you?
What do you mean?
Oh no, we were.
Yes.
We were having a parley.
You were trying to parley.
Well,
you were trying to parley. We're going to zoom along in the interest of brevity. I'm going to recap. You have travelled to Tilagos Island, surrounded by a permanent magical storm in the Lake of the Cold Sky, looking for something called the Library of Last Resort, a repository of ancient lore and stuff left by an ancient order of druids called the Order of the Storm.
That's right.
Apparently, buried within this repository is the location of the phylactery of a Dracolich called Dragotha, who you have learnt is the sort of general martial right-hand dragon of Kios himself.
Yeah.
If you can destroy the phylactery, you can effectively neutralise Dragotha. That's the whole deal. You've arrived in that submarine, you've surfaced, there's a beach, you're surrounded by a storm, there is a maze of sorts constructed out of great blocks that rise up into the cloud base that you have been exploring and fighting these orcs. Well, rather, you've discovered that they're orcs. So there was arrows were snaking out in the darkness. Horrible tendrily things were attacking you from behind as you clambered up the beach. You've broken free of the tendrils. You've run into the maze, and Parker has taken it upon himself to shout out, basically, we are going to kill you if we keep fighting. So why don't we parley? Maybe you can help us. Something, I mean, I can't remember because I've never listened to
that was sort of the gist of
what
it.
Lucas says. But yeah, there we are. That's it. Where we live things, the voice of what sounded like the leader of these orcs.
The pirate leader.
Said, shipmates, they want to parley. What say ye? Now, there is a mixed reception to this suggestion. But
we have money.
You know, like the clapometer or whatever.
Yeah.
Not the thing they used to test Johnny at the clinic, but the the thing on opportunity, you know, who's done best, you know, applause thingy, whatever. If you had to make a judgment, you think that although it's mixed, the response from all these sort of orcish voices echoing to you through the maze, bouncing off walls and pillars and all sorts of stuff, is broadly positive. So this voice sings out again. Well, now, sounds like the gang is with me. Maybe we can come up with a bit of a deal.
Arr, we like to parley.
There must be an episode name in there.
People in the house.
Let's get this parley started. I know you've done that one already.
The orcs that you can see, but all of you have assiduously hidden yourselves away. I'm going to assume that Burps can peek round the corner of the wall that he's by. Uncle Buggy likewise. You can see them lower their weapons, looking a little bit bemused and a little bit cautious. And then you hear the heavy footsteps of what must be Chief Orc making their way through the shadows beyond you and out into this little clearing area with the orcs that you've seen. There is a huge orc, outsize, heavily muscled, He's carrying a bow that looks like it's probably worth an enormous amount of money, unless you try and sell it under our rules, in which case it's only worth half that much money. And he's got a quiver of arrows that are all gleaming and glowing and special. And he looks extremely sailor-like. I don't know what that means. He's got one of those hats.
And a peg leg.
Fore and aft, or whatever, as a thought ships. You're right, master and commander. And he's got epaulets. Arr. And he's got an eye patch. Let's give him an eye patch.
Try to call
Who be
ye? He shouts out to you.
I'm sorry?
I be Bugraft.
Sorry, what?
I be Bugraft, I say.
Bugraft, ye say? Oh,
I say, yeah, that's what I say. Bugraft.
Okay. And who be your companion?
Bugraft seems to take on the voice of whoever he's talking to.
Does.
Yeah.
It's like
Send for your captain.
It's like having a minor bird.
Gonna throw in some errs.
Oh, so, Bugraft, who be your companions then? Let them show themselves.
Never you mind.
Oh, this isn't much of a parley so far.
I will step round the corner. Where is he? I don't even know where he is.
Well, I'm going to put him in.
Yeah, put him in.
I was waiting for people to step around the corner in it, and I'm going to put him in. Bosh. And he looks like all the others, but there's a little figure for him.
Right.
He looks just like all the others, apart from slightly different.
Yeah, apart from he's massive and he's got loads of magic.
He looks like he could definitely take care of himself. He looks like if the others are standard NPC template orcs from the book, he is somebody who's been put together in D&D Beyond.
And just to refresh my memory, because it's been 4 years since we last played, they were on a ship escorting uber bad guy group of people, right? Wasn't there a party that they were escorting?
Yes. Okay, so when you were with Lashonna, she told you about, as it were, a lieutenant or servitor of hers, ally, whatever, called Heskin, who had sold out to people unknown, bad people.
Yeah.
She'd kept a lock of hair off Heskin and used it to cast a scrying spell. And you got to see Heskin tied to the mast of a ship. He didn't live through the entire duration of the vision because her scrying sensor was spotted by this awful cloaked figure who seemed to be adhered to, or the other way around, the hand of Veshna, or the hand of Asmodee.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that was used to summon the heart out of the ribcage of Heskin as he squealed on the ship. Also in that vision, there was a large...
That's not going to be a nice thing for us to have to face, is it?
No. Large red-skinned figure, a huge red-skinned figure that was also taunting Heskin. A figure whose skin seemed to almost be, as it were, glowing with heat because you could see the rain in the storm sizzling off it.
Uh-huh.
And there were two cloaked tiefling figures with jiggly, shiny eyes, twin figures. And then in the background, there were loads of orc sailors. So your deduction has been that these must be the same orcs, but you've not got into it with them yet. Let's see what happens when you try and talk to them. You must use the right accent.
Hello.
A young whippersnapper. No pirate ye be from your voice and your refined city ways,
he says.
City ways?
I don't know.
Which?
I'm improvising.
All right, okay. So,
you landlubber.
Listen, we don't want to have to kill you all, but we do need to get to the library.
The library, you say? You be here for the same reason as Darl.
I would imagine so, yes.
And what reason was that then?
Is there any way we can come to some agreement without killing you all?
Your estimation of the balance of power may be slightly off, but I agree. We shouldn't be fighting. We've got no enmity between us. We just want to be left alone. And we want to stay out of this maze.
And he kind of jerks his, appendage over his shoulder, gestures behind him into the darkness of the maze.
We don't want to go any further in there. Evil things there'll be in there.
We do.
Right.
You are more than welcome to follow Darl wherever he went. But we've not seen him now for a day or so.
Which way did he go?
He and his companions ventured into the maze. There was him.
Companions?
There was the great Ifrit. There was the great horned devil that accompanies him everywhere. There were the strange twins, and there was the assassin. Oh, and of course the Efreet was riding on his great dark steed of nightmare fire.
Great.
Are they friends of yours?
Clients, really, clients. But they've rather abandoned us here. We thought we would be able to accompany them. But they've just left us here, and we're trapped between the strange creatures under the boats and on the beach, and the strange creatures that lurk deeper within this maze.
And you decided to attack us because
we're NPCs.
All right.
We need to do something.
So
Boredom, basically.
Don't you attack every random creature you encounter as
there
you
is
explore
that.
ruins?
Yes, there is that.
Yeah, exactly.
So perhaps we could come to some financial agreement. Maybe if you're at a loose end and not currently employed, maybe you could work for us.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, we've gone a bit.
Cadbury's caramel.
That's not pirate, is it?
Doubloons, ye say?
That's more like it.
Pieces of 8.
Do you know who did the voice for Cadbury's Caramel?
We prefer to be paid in chocolate.
No, I don't, Dan. You're going
Miriam
to tell it.
Margulies.
Is it?
Yeah. So you're not open to employment.
Yeah. I think just an agreement not to interfere with each other would suit our purposes better. We can build ourselves a new vessel out of the wreckage on the
How
shore.
much are you being paid by your current employer?
Well, we aren't being paid nothing, are we? We were paid to bring him here, and now our ship is wrecked.
Right.
He's disappeared off into the darkness.
Okay. Well, I was hoping to kill some orcs today, but I suppose I could be persuaded not to.
It's not very nice.
No. Well, depends on your perspective.
Well, you're going to have to live without that, I suppose. I mean, there are quite a few of us.
Yeah, but Okay, so you get out the way.
Lads, let's gather.
And loads of orcs come out. And I think there are about 15 in total. They kind of start shuffling out of the shadows all around. Most of them are carrying bows. Some of them are carrying kind of bill hooks and nautical style melee weapons.
Right, and do they gather into a 30-foot radius?
No, they do not.
20-foot radius area.
What a force.
They spread out, taking cover. You can hear them working their way around you in the darkness, in the maze. And you eventually see a couple start to emerge from behind you out onto the strand, out onto the apron of land before the beach. But they're clearly wary of the tendril creatures, so they're not going too far. It looks like basically they picked the spot where they were safe, and you've come in and started running into the spot where they were safe. And they would rather you just carried on and left them to it. And they can go back to avoiding the tendrils and trying to build an escape vessel.
So, which way did they go?
Yeah,
Let me
which way
just
did they
consult
go?
with my compadres.
They went further into the maze. Who is saying that, by the way?
Me down here.
Oh, there you are.
The captain smuggler.
It's a ship's monkey. Not much further into the maze, there's strange creatures like the tendril creatures under the boats. But these ones come out of the rocks themselves. Beware ye of the tendrils.
There you go.
Right.
That's a bit of a solid he's done you.
Yeah, okay.
Not literally.
Yeah.
Squatted down and done a solid for you.
Right,
But
so does anyone object to just bypassing these guys?
Nope, not at all.
No. Go for it.
Okay.
Can we pay them
Let's
at
go.
all? I mean, are they...
For what?
they don't
To
want
go
your
in
money.
front?
They
They just
won't
want to be
want
left
our
on.
money. They just didn't
They don't
want to
want
be
any
killed.
money at all.
That's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
They like being offered money because then they get to say doubloons. So they don't actually want them particularly.
Well, we won't pay you in doubloons, but gold pieces.
Or copper pieces?
They don't sound the least bit piratical.
Right, do you want to keep exploring? They filter around you, obviously looking wary and keeping themselves dispersed and mostly out of your sight. But you get the sense that they're going back towards the beach. You're free to push on, should you so wish.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Oh,
did he point
head
to
forward.
which way, which of the various...
How long did that conversation last?
What?
So I would say probably a couple of minutes, maybe a little bit longer.
Did he point to which of the various paths they've gone down?
He kind of generally indicated the area of the maze in the centre, not much further to your north. That was the area he said was dangerous.
What? So
He
this is
said
the one
that
just north of where Bugraff is standing?
Do you want to call him back? Get him to draw you a map? He can do.
Yes.
Okay.
Draw
well,
us
he
a map.
basically shows you what he knows.
Yeah.
And I will
Reveal that.
reveal some more map based upon his largesse.
His current understanding of the situation at hand.
I'm just basically going to reveal some map. We're not going to get into a whole thing about how good his memory is or whether or not you can trust it. Here we go. Can you see map?
Yeah. Hang on.
Okay, there's an awful lot of it. Readers, I'm revealing a whole load of maze to them.
Jonky.
Ooh,
He seems to indicate that the area...
lovely.
Lovely. He points to an area, a kind of clearing area, right in the middle of the maze, at the very extremity of what he's able to draw for you. And that is where he says that they were attacked by tendril creatures that emerged from the rocks and the walls. So they don't go much further north than about another 50, 60 feet from where you're all gathered. After that, they don't go there because it's too dangerous.
That's too dangerous.
Where did the other guys go?
They carried on. They must have survived that threat. We've not seen any trace of them now for a day or so.
And in which direction were they going when you last saw them?
North, further into the maze. That is where they set their compass
Okay, but they don't know
and their course.
whether they went into the northwest or the northeast. Or
I know
north
we were in the
central.
boats trying to repair the ships, and then we were attacked by the horrible tendril creatures. We fled into the maze, and by then they'd gone. And then we found these awful creatures in the centre of the maze, and we've been trapped between them and the shore ever since.
Right.
He turns to one of his lieutenants and says, "How am I getting on with the accent? Do you think it's working?"
Eye patch. Is it too much, do you think?
I think they're buying it.
Well, is it too much? Is it a bit Cadbury's caramel at points, I think? Yeah.
Okay, so...
Right.
These are probably Otyug, right? Or what are the three-legged things? They are
Zorns.
Zorns. Do they have tendrils? Zorns?
No.
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 They're
Have you
kind
met
of
Zorns?
No, but
Can't
I'm very
think of a,
knowledgeable, Mike. I'm a bard,
tentacly
I know stuff.
stone.
David Attenborough.
ropers.
Yeah, of ropers. Yeah, but ropers are
Ropers
stationary, aren't they?
Rock. They look like stalactites or rock pillars.
Maybe.
I would
Mimics.
bet ropers.
Pseudopods.
Do you think they
No.
will have tremor sense, or do they have sight? Because I can do invisibility on us all,
Possibly.
or we can fly, which basically.
Oh, I went down a wormhole of rules lawyering today.
No, did you?
Picking something up. Oh, I can't tell you what it is because it may be relevant later, but my goodness. Reddit is an absolute cesspool. They get into these arguments about whether or not this spell does that or that spell does this. Oh, and another rules point. Dan,
Yeah.
do you have Warcaster feat?
Yes.
You can cast your shield spell when carrying two weapons, therefore.
Right.
Last time, you wanted to cast your shield spell as a reaction, but you were holding both your swords, and the ruling was you had to drop one of your swords in order to do so because it had a somatic component. But I've discovered something that may also become relevant later, that the Warcaster feat allows you to cast spells even with a somatic component, even with a weapon in either or both hands or a shield. So,
Ah, well, there you go.
good news for you.
Yeah.
And also good news for somebody else later.
We could try and avoid the area altogether. I mean, there's what looks like a killing ground, single file passage on the left, or there is lots of passageways on the right. We don't have to go into that area at all.
Yeah, the question is whether there's something else
true.
somewhere else.
Could of course go down the side of the maze.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we go up the right-hand side?
We could go the right
Okay.
or with the 5 foot facing on the left hand side. Except that if there is stuff, that looks just like a bit of a death trap, doesn't it?
It's just that we are on the right-hand side, so it seems logical to do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't mind leading the way
go on then.
on that.
Go on
I mean,
then.
He's not very
Off you
clever,
go.
so he's just, as you know.
We'll be right behind you.
Yeah.
I know. All right, he's going to.
Couple of miles.
We're not in
behind.
round sequence, are we, Mike?
No.
Scaly's going to kind of march his way.
Yeah, up the
north.
right-hand side of the maze.
He's got his big chopper in his hand.
It's- Yeah, I mean, this is all a bit silly, but you've seen the map and it's all working out exactly as you
Yeah.
would expect.
We come up
I'll follow
to
him.
this kind of crossroads area where we've
You
got
come to a left, right, east, west.
yeah, and we've got 3
Little-
potential passageways.
You can turn left and
And then
go
right.
west. You
Yeah.
can turn right and go up one of two. Yeah, there seems to be some kind of broader section with columns dotted down the middle of it heading to the north.
I reckon that's the way. Could be completely wrong, but toss of a coin. So he's gonna.
Let me reveal what you can see. That continues that area, and then you can see what looks like a section of a pool. Let me describe
Ooh.
this pool to you.
Don't like the look of that.
Looks like a tidal pool, Scaly. As in somewhere, you think probably from your east, so from your right. The sea seems to be flowing in and out in time with the waves. There seems to be a bit of mouldering driftwood, seaweed around this pool. But the water in the pool, well, it's red. It could be full of red dye. It could be some other kind of liquid. It's not blood, but it would look like that if somebody tipped a few buckets of blood into something. But the feature that really stands out is that floating on the surface of this pool, and therefore ebbing and flowing as the waves ebb and flow to and from the pool, is an immense, you can only see a part of it, black tree plant thing. Looks like it's sprouting out from the depths of the pool, and then its boughs, or I'm going to say tendrils, but I don't mean tendrils in the sense that you've encountered recently, are floating on the surface of the pool and then rising up into the air above the pool like a tree.
Okay.
Rubbery, dark branches that are swaying gently in the wind. The breeze that must be following you through the maze and probably is coming in from an aperture to your right, same aperture that the water is flowing in and out from. That's what you can see.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I can do my divine sense within 60 foot. I can, as an action, detect good and evil. I can sense anything else. I can sense anything affected by the
Is it like detect evil, where it's only types of evil that you detect, not
precisely?
Like
it's a question of
you can sense anything affected by the hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 foot that is not behind total cover.
Mm-hmm. It's not perfectly well described, this thing, but no, your divine sense doesn't register any celestials, fiends, undead, anything like that.
Something else could be evil, but it wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah,
I can't remember how the rules were, and this is not meant to be a steer in any way as to what is going on here, but there used to be a rule around detect evil that meant that, yes, devils and demons and celestials and all that kind of stuff, good and evil, that would pick up.
Yeah, we used to think
if it was just an evil person, you had to be above a certain level or a certain hit dice before it would register. You could just be like a badly intentioned rat catcher. It wouldn't pick it up, right?
The first edition version was like if you were evil, but then they changed it to undead.
It's been through a few iterations.
Can I cast the spell at this point?
Yes. What do you want to cast?
Freedom of movement.
Okay.
It's a 4th level spell that basically if someone grapples me, I can basically get away.
Yeah. And is it concentration?
No, and it lasts an hour.
Great. Tonight's beer, Paul, is the perfectly named Parker. My favourite beer.
Are you going to bring a couple of those with you on the D&D weekend?
I'll bring a case
I've got to drink a Parker.
Yes, whilst dressed as Parker.
Is it English?
Isn't that the beer that runs around buildings, jumping and going, Parker?
Yeah, asking loads of questions.
In multiple parts.
You've cast that spell. Scaly's looking at this red pool of liquid with this weird black tree growing out of it. Sessions, Parker, Burple, anything?
Just floating up to where Buggy is.
I'll move up behind Scaly O'Toole.
Okay.
I'm going to move
unless
up.
you want to go the other way and avoid the tree.
I'm going to cast invisibility
I'll move up
on myself.
to the level of Bugraft, but
I'm just going to reveal a bit more because you can see past this pool. You can see that it probably 30-something feet.
Sounds like something out of a Michael Moorcock book. A red pool with a black tree.
Yeah, it does actually. No, I think about
something
it.
Like Corum or something, I don't know.
Out of round sequence, Burple, Sessions. Sessions is sort of floated up, staying in normal Sessions territory. Burple's hiding around a corner. Scaly, Buggy
Burple's
and Parker
up.
getting closer.
No, Burple's moved up and he's done invisibility on himself. If I can move again, then I'm going to go head round this way to the...
So you're heading left, you're heading west, going round the other way, away from where they're going.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Scaly's going to move up a bit.
How far?
He's going to move up to...
How close is he going?
30
He's
feet.
like 25 feet away from the pool now. Yeah, 25, 30 feet away from the pool. It's just there. You can hear the gentle swish of waves as they run in and out of this pool. And you can see that there's obviously an aperture to the right, a break in the wall of the maze that is feeding this pool. Nothing else is happening.
I'm going to not go...
Yet anyway.
How tall are these maze walls?
You don't know. They disappear into the cloud base. The cloud base with the storm and the crackling lightning and all the nastiness is 60 feet above you. So they could be 200 feet tall. They could be 61 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see up that way?
I can reveal a bit more. You can see that it opens up a little bit, that there's an area that you could run up into. I'm going to be pretty kind of relaxed about this. It looks like you found another little kind of 30 foot by 30 foot little
area.
They're not rooms in a maze, but whatever they are. Area. Yeah, clearing. Yeah, clearing. Thank you. What about Sessions, Parker, Buggy?
As I said, I've moved
you got an
up to
invisible
where
Burple?
Bugraft is, but on the right-hand side.
Just keeping it churning. Scaly's right towards the lake.
I'm going
Burple
to
is running around the other way.
Longstrider. Well, I already did that, didn't I, last time?
How long does it last?
Ages.
Fine.
1 hour.
Buggy?
What are you doing, Scaly? Are you heading further north towards the tree, or
Yeah.
is it a bit dodgy?
Scaly's about 30 feet from the pool.
Yeah, I'm going to head right a little bit to see if I can see around the corner. So I'm going to head up.
We're going to try and open up a little bit more
Yeah.
of a... I'm going to say that... How close... Right, okay. If you get within about...
20 foot.
That's within about 20 foot of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can see in my depiction of the pool, I've put a tree. That tree kind of represents general treeness, just for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could actually do better. I could do
You
so
could
much
do
more.
so much better, Mike.
Could make the tree bigger.
I could do so
much better.
I mean, so much better. And why don't I
so
make
good
it a little
job.
bit more representative of what your... No, I don't know, actually. No, I think that's about right. So the bulk of the tree is taking up about a 20 foot by 20 foot section of the centre of the pool. So you are about 20 foot from the pool and about 30 foot from the tree.
Yes.
There we go. Pool full of red stained... Must be
Just waiting
seawater.
for it to reach for me.
Must be seawater, right? Because it's ebbing in and out through this aperture. Seems to be inert, this tree. It just seems to be just floating, gently swaying on the tidal currents and in the wind.
I'm not sure this is a very good way to go.
Perfectly
No, nor am I. It's not a tree.
lovely, innocent tree with absolutely
Can we go the other
nothing
way,
wrong.
please?
Should we go the other way?
Come on, forward!
Dan has come up with something annoying.
Forwards,
Have
there's
you
a
seen
little
what have you
voice at the
seen-
back flying up.
Flying up, invisible, absolutely. Keep
you seen
moving.
what Dan has
Come
come
on,
up with?
Sessions, why don't you go first?
What is...
For a
Well, I'm
change.
invisible.
Dan has found a little ninja
Little
hook
balaclava.
to stick over the top of
balaclava.
his mini to represent the fact that he's invisible.
Yeah.
Oh, you're using that one. I'm using the other one.
Are you invisible?
I'll use that one too.
Well, you
then.
use the spanner.
Yeah, I think we should
Anyway,
go back
Spanner
round
was
to where
flying.
Burple is.
You
Go
can't
up
have
that
two,
way.
I don't think. Oh, you can.
Cool. You can get as many as you like.
I'm going to go
I ain't
back
gonna
round
do
to
what
where
you're talking
Burple is.
He's invisible.
I feel like I'm losing
You're
You
not
don't
going to
know
find
where I
him.
am.
my grip on reality.
Yeah, I'm following
exactly. You've got no
Parker
idea
now.
where Burple is.
What do I see?
Okay.
Mike? Now that I'm moved a little bit further.
Let's reveal a bit more. Let's say that you can see...
Oh, they're all going that way.
You can see the clearing that you've entered. It's actually more like 50 feet north-south by 30, 40 feet east-west. Dominated by a single pillar. It takes up most of the space at the end of it. The far right-hand corner of the clearing, you can see the corner of the pool that Scaly can see. So you're meeting up, you're matching up.
Well, except that Scully's run back round. He's like that.
Then you've got some apertures.
Yeah, except the
We're all
Scaly.
following
You've got an
Burple.
aperture to your left, you've got an aperture,
Even though we
you've
can't
got a
see
couple
it.
of... Wait, you could turn
Yeah.
left, you could turn late left, or you could turn late left. Up to you, Mr. Magoo.
What can I see to the left there? If I move up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so what you can see is a channel running down, a corridor, for the want of a better word, running to your east and ending with a pillar with choices left and right. But the pillar that it ends in, that has got a strange extrusion on it,
Like tendrils.
like a kind of bump, like an irregularity. So all of these pillars and columns, that all looks like, I think as we described it a while ago, like a Tetris game in progress. They're all very regular. They're all very constructed and regular. This one is the same, but it looks like it's somehow sort of warped or distorted with a distinct bulge that's on the face of it. As you look at it, you're looking down into the heart of the maze from where you're standing, off to the east. It is the pillar that dominates the northern part of the area that... You didn't even ask his name, but I'll tell you anyway. Grog-Spit, the pirate
Grog-Spit,
captain.
what an excellent name.
It was not a bad name, is it? A Grog-Spit, the pirate captain, was telling you about.
Okay. And we're just going to head up a bit and peer around to the
I've missed D&D. It's been a while.
Peer around to the east from there.
I'm going
Yeah,
up
you've got a little bit of
with Parker.
a left-right switchback going on. Parker following you up, getting closer and closer to this pool, which is to your northeast.
Mm-hmm.
You found the other way round to that pool area. This is the pool area.
I'm going to move up to that little entranceway up there. What's going on
Yeah,
up there?
and you're not discovering anything particularly exciting. You can see there's a tiny little channel that runs between a couple of pillars there. Maybe it almost looks like a pillar has been sundered, and there's a bit of a space, but there's no irregularity around the pillar that you're looking at.
Okay, I think I'll give somebody else a go.
Buggy, Parker, Sessions,
Well,
Scaly.
we're all following
We're just
carefully
following
behind
along, yeah.
Purple.
You can't follow carefully behind Burple. You can't see Burple. Unless Burple is emitting a regular kind of peep noise to tell you where he's...
Let's assume
Go.
he's doing that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah,
I'm not doing
that.
that.
Okay, so you're guessing at the
I'm
moment.
not doing that.
Completely randomly, you happen to be going in the same direction as Burple. Buggy, Scaly, Parker, Sessions. What do you want to do?
I'll move forward, avoiding any bulges on pillars.
I will
There's no
follow
bulges.
Bugraft.
I'm going to follow
15 foot
Buggy.
line.
Skirting the pool is now off to your right, to your east. You're about 20 feet from it.
I'll stay 25 feet away. I'll press myself against the wall.
Parker, could you give me a straight... Let me have a think now, what's relevant? Intelligence
Persuasion.
check, please.
Diplomacy check.
Yeah.
Ooh, full 20.
Friend guide storyteller. Parker, you recognise this pool and this tree. I mean, you do. Lucas clearly doesn't.
The tree of life.
This is exactly like something that you saw in a vision, Parker, this pool and this tree. I think episode...
I thought that
River
was the
runs
pool
deep.
that we went to.
Yeah, River Runs Deep, episode 99. You plunged down into an underground pool as
Yeah.
you were Right. And superimposed over the actual pool was a vision, like, I think it was described as like augmented reality, of another pool superimposed over the real pool that you were in. And that pool was red, filled with a red liquid, supporting the trunk rising from it of a great black tree or plant
Right.
whose branches ran over the surface and climbed up above you.
Well,
You also noticed that on the bed of this lake were glowing red crystals that you suddenly understood were very important, and then the vision ended.
oh, right.
Good problem.
Yeah.
You got a 20. I could have said something like, you remember something about this, Parker, but you're
Yeah.
not sure what. But a 20, I think, gives you
All
the
right.
whole chapter and verse.
Take my clothes off, jump in the pool, swim down to the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. Should we tie a rope to you first, Buggy?
Well, why don't we
being sincere.
polymorph him into a
Fish.
fish?
And then stand on him.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
then
put
he'll
him
have
into
to
the
go
lake.
in the water.
Then stick him in a bottle.
He's fallen into water.
He's got free action, so he can move through the water as if he's a fish.
Fish.
I think some of the connections in this adventure are a little bit too subtle for us.
We don't do subtle, do we?
Is it subtle to
Well, there are so
dwell
many
upon a vision of a
themes
red pool
and
with a black tree
What's
growing
that got
out
to
of it?
do with the Draco
And then
Lich
give-
and the Airborne Triad?
Nothing.
And
It's the red
no,
crystals
nothing.
that we're
It's too
after.
complicated.
Right, okay.
It's not necessarily plot related. It might be that at a certain point a signpost has been given to Parker to say,
You're
if
going
you
in the
ever
right
encounter the thing you see in your vision, it's important.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Go and get the red.
Yeah.
Go and get the red
Yeah,
crystals.
it's not necessarily anything to do with Cuthbert or prophecies or anything. It's just like
I'll tie a rope to Bugraft.
the other one he didn't pick up on was the secret entrance to the Sodden Hold, which he was also shown in a vision. And then when you got to the secret entrance to the Sodden Hold, you all stood around this hole in the ground thinking, I wonder what this is. They never work, these things.
No, because they're like 6 months, at least 6 months ago, or a year. Are you
How long were we doing this adventure? Is it 4
expecting
years?
us to basically
It's been
take
forever.
full and copious notes? I mean, I do take quite a few notes, actually.
Yeah, of all the people that would keep a note of the things that they would see for later.
It's almost like you've worked it out
Touche.
in advance, mate.
Well, I'd try, but it's just not worked.
No, because
people
we're
are- Anyway,
stupid.
whatever. On we go, on we go, on we
Okay.
go. I can't remember
Yeah,
where we got to.
I'm going to go
Right,
and
well, so
investigate the
Bugraft
pool.
is going to jump in the pool.
Yeah,
No,
Bugraft
I
is
think-
I will
diving
tie a
into the
rope
pool.
to him.
Yeah,
I think you had the
I will
vision.
tie weights
you
to the
jump
rope.
in the ball.
I will cut the rope at the end.
The end. And so endeth the adventure.
That end.
So endeth Bugraft.
Anybody going to actually do
Maybe
anything?
it's a bit of a distraction. Do we Do we really want
I'll
to
go a
in the
little
pool?
bit nearer to this lake then, Mike. What can you tell us?
Pretty much
If we're
described it with all
Okay,
of the
but-
box text at my disposal.
right,
a
but
murky
so
tidal
no
pool-
difference when we're closer. That's what I'm asking. Is whether there's any difference in what it looks like when we get closer.
No.
Can somebody do detect magic on it?
I can do detect magic.
Yep.
going
You become
to be
visible if you do.
Yeah.
I can do detect magic.
Yeah, the
There you
detect
go.
magic's concentration, isn't it?
It's a spell.
I knew that.
Just going to check it.
I haven't forgotten how to
Yeah.
play this game.
So you're going to cast Detect Magic?
Buggy is.
Buggy is.
I'll just make sure I've got it. I thought I saw it a minute ago. Hang on.
Cast Detect Magic. Maybe you'll find it.
It's a ritual spell.
First level?
Is it first level?
First level, yeah.
It's weird.
Is it too powerful for you?
Okay, so Buggy
The
doesn't have it.
altar boy has forgotten his role.
Buggy doesn't have it. Burple isn't casting it. Let's move on. Anybody else want to do anything? Parker? Scaly?
Well, are you going to do
Oh,
it?
sorry, I got
I'll
dispel
go.
magic. Sorry.
Well,
I'll go.
Okay, I will cast it,
Okay.
which means I become visible, so I will move to here and cast it.
You're gliding up to the little
Yeah.
opening, aperture that leads into the pool area. Scaly is walking up to the shore, as it were, the edge of the pool. Sessions is a little bit further out, but nearby. Parker is also about 10 feet away from the edge of the pool. Burple is tucked away around the corner of a pillar. Bugraft likewise. Sessions, talk to me about Detect Magic and what it does.
The duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. You can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature
Yes.
or object in the area which bears magic. You can learn its school of magic.
Yeah.
The spell
you-
can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 stone, 1 inch of common metal, or thin lead.
Is it everything around you within 30 feet, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
There is magic within 30 feet, but you suspect it's your friends.
Yeah, I use my action to concentrate so I can focus on auras.
Nothing apart from the magic on your friends.
What about
There's
the tree?
no magic inherent in the pool or the tree or anything.
Well, that's annoying.
Shall I go? Shall I go in?
Go in.
Yeah.
now we're nearer. Is it possible to see the bottom?
Where you are, your angle is not perfect. It looks like it's a deep pool. It doesn't look like it's a 2-3 foot shallow tidal pool that you can see the bottom of it being revealed as the water flows in and out. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like that.
I'm standing next to it.
Johnny, have you not got the part water?
Yeah, part
Spell?
water.
Oh yeah.
Control water.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You can move all the water out of it back down the inlet to the sea.
What's a pirate's favourite letter?
Ah,
You'd think it'd be R, but it's actually the C.
You're on Christmas cracker gag writing duty again.
Oh, yeah.
You
That's
hear a
about my
voice,
level.
you hear a voice, Burple.
The voice of the benevolence
Mates
of
go,
the water.
"Oh, remember that one."
That's a keeper.
Control water. That's it. 4th level spell.
Okay.
Concentration up to 10 minutes. Till the spell ends, you can control any freestanding water inside an area you choose and queued up to 100 feet on the side.
Wow.
You can
Well, that's,
choose from any of the following: flood, no. Part water. You cause water in the area to move apart to create a trench. The trench extends across the spell's area. The separated water forms a wall to either side. Trench remains until the spell ends when you choose different
yeah,
effect.
that's the one.
Okay, redirect flow. You can maybe make it go out into the channel. Cause water flow
I
into
think
the area.
doing
Move
that
into the
is
direction you
already-
choose.
It's a cube 100 foot on a side, right?
Yeah.
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 Is that the bound of pretty much any of the effects you pick?
Yes.
If your intention is to empty the pool,
Yeah.
you'll pick the right one at some point.
Well, I'll do part water then.
Part water, which pushes the water to one side but doesn't make it disappear. I'm not quite sure what's
No,
going
it's
on
like
there,
a
but I'm going to-
wall. It pushes into a wall. Or,
Yeah.
You empty the pool, and the water
Yeah.
that's in the pool is now,
A
as
sort
it
of
were,
wall around it.
standing in a wall around the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think I'd push the water out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just push
Well, I
it
can
back
do.
out to
You
sea.
can change it. So, you think
Fine, you
crystals
could-
are in the water?
Yes. But
Well,
I
if you
was
create a
working out whether or
wall
not you
around
need
it,
to
where you,
walk through a wall of water to get into
No.
the pool that you'd emptied.
I think you can. I
Fine,
think you
in
can
that-
push it with
Cool.
such that it will go
Anywhere you
north.
like.
Yeah.
Reading this, the tree seems to be semi-supported by the pool, but it has got what it calls a trunk that rises up from the base of the pool. So I'm going to say that when you empty the pool, the tree sort of slumps down into a massive vegetation that's just sort of bundled in the middle of the bottom of the pool. The pool is not 100 feet deep. It's 50 feet deep, though, which is quite a challenge. So now you've got an empty pool. At the base of the tree trunk and at the centre of the bed of the pool, there are red glowing crystals.
50 feet away.
50 feet down and a little bit away, like 20 feet horizontally. So not doing
Well, I mean,
Pythagoras,
I can
but yeah.
walk down there.
Yeah.
Doesn't the detect magic focus a little bit more from round to
does it
round?
have-
So-
Do we get any
Temperature
more?
only goes 30 feet.
Move up to the edge, closer.
Yeah. Is it
and
30 feet or 60 feet? Sorry.
30 feet, I think.
30 feet, right. The pool is 50 feet deep.
right.
Oh, 50 feet deep.
Yeah.
And did this tree or any of its roots or whatever, did they seem to react in some kind of non-passive way to the
Oh, I see
water
what your
being
point.
moved away?
No.
Right. So they didn't try and sort of fight against the water moving away or try and go with it. They just basically, as the water disappeared, as you said,
What you're fishing for is it alive?
It would be
Yeah,
fidgeting
yeah.
at
No.
this moment.
No.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be moving in a non-plant-like way, and the way that it reacted to the water suddenly being snatched away from
Yeah.
supporting it was for it to slump down into the middle.
Okay, so if it's 50 foot down, then basically I can move 70. I don't have to worry about going down the wall. So I can move vertically as horizontally. So I move down.
You are moving down, definitely.
Is picking up the jewels, is that an action or is that interacting with an object?
How many do you want to pick up?
How many are there?
Loads. I mean, let's say there are 100. They're
Oh,
about the
right.
size of D20s.
One for each of us.
Oh, right. So I could literally swoop up a handful.
They're intermingled with the base of this tree, and it's all now slumped all over it. But yes, you would be able to. You could. What I'm really trying to do is get you to commit to your action.
Yes, I
Parker.
know.
Your assessment would be that you could scootle down the side of the pit if you wanted to snatch at more than a couple of these crystals. You wanted to say,
You have to
grab, let's just
spend
say
around
10.
there.
You think it would take you 10 to 30 seconds to grab more than about a couple, and then you'd be able to scootle back. That would be your best guess.
Why don't you grab one, bring it up, we'll examine it, then you can go back and grab more.
To be honest, I'm not so worried about if I'm down there and I'm picking them up, but I'm thinking about effectively moving into this area is going to trigger some kind of trap.
You're worried that the
No,
tree
that's-
is secretly alive,
Or-
and that the moment
It
you
might
get
not be
anywhere
the
near
tree. I mean, it might be,
It's gonna
that's
grab
the
you.
point at which the, I don't know, the,
The slug monster.
yeah,
it's a perfectly reasonable thing to be worried
Yeah.
about.
Tie a rope round your waist.
yeah, just in
Or around
case.
his ankles.
Round his
Then we
neck.
can have him like a bit of bait on the end of the hook.
Yeah.
One rope around
We
his
can
ankles,
just
one
dangle him
around
down
his wrists,
or cast him
Yeah.
into the bottom of the
and then he
depression.
could pick them up with his mouth.
Right. Anybody else got any ideas
Yes.
about
Yeah.
things we could do
This
to
is-
I think
mitigate?
you should go
Yes.
down and get some crystals.
Go down, grab one, and run away.
Ah,
Do it
see
as
what
quickly
happens.
as you can, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we'll tie a rope around you in case.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that. I'll do what Graham said.
It's like Graham and Dan with the evil arts at a
Yeah.
Roald Dahl novel.
That's right. Yeah.
Only you could fit up the chimney.
Yeah.
Sessions is flying. Burple is flying.
Purple's invisible.
Yeah. And yet, come on. Right, Parker.
Yeah. I'll go down,
And you're gonna
take
grab a
one, and go back up again. That's one round.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
see what. Let's see what
yeah.
happens.
The moment
Yeah, I thought so.
that you get to the base of the tree,
Yeah.
it springs into life.
Yeah.
Giant black branches snatch for you,
Yeah.
and we'll find out
You're
how much
doomed.
trouble you're in.
You're doomed.
You're doomed.
Whether or not we're into some great big combat, or whether it really is just a tree and I'm just making it sound a
That's
bit
a
sinister.
role-playing tree.
It's a role-playing tree. When
We've got to roll diplomacy
role-playing
checks.
tree
It
up
says,
next week.
Excellent.
Insight roll.
said, speak ye answers 3.
You can't dress it up; it is going to attack you.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Library of Last Resort and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Library of Last Resort was written by Nicholas Logue. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.
This is Annabelle Thorne, current head of Thorne Investigations, a paranormal investigations company set up in Edinburgh. I'm here to tell you today that monsters are real, and have been real for centuries, only they've been hiding. We don't understand why they're coming into the light now, but if you see anything, if you hear anything that makes you think you're in contact with one, tell us. We can help. I have a few agents in the field just now, Evangeline Lane Fox, Peter Anderson, Vera Bright, and, for better or worse, my niece, Tabitha. Don't hesitate to tell us. If you do, you might not get another chance.
The Thorn Files podcast is a Monster of the Week actual play podcast with new episodes coming out every other Friday. If you're a fan of horror, mysteries, and shenanigans, why don't you come and give us a listen at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere else you can get podcasts. Be ready to be scared.